Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another Starcraft Remastered replay for you, as once again we have a great engagement in between the two pro players, this time from the South Korean scene, as they're spawning here on Blue Storm, I believe a 4 spawning location map. So yeah, let me just start by introducing the players to you guys. As we have spawning here in the lower left in the teal, it is another very strong and talented Terran player, and his opponent none other than the second best Protoss around the years 2015-2017. It is of course STORK here in the upper right part as the white Protoss. So yeah, once again a Protoss versus Terran matchup on this channel. Let's have a look at the build, or let's have a look at exactly what they're going to be doing. As like I told you, this game has been played I believe around the year 2015-2017. We have pretty standard open up here by STORK with his pylon. The same really soon can be set here by Nada, but it looks like he's preparing a wall in on this map. So of course a small ledge here is allowing the Terran to wall in, is allowing him to add a barracks here. Of course you guys know Terrans can uplift and downlift those barracks just to open and close the door. So let's have a look exactly what the strategy from Nada is going to be. Is he going, like many Terrans, go for those tanks, for those vultures? Bio could be an option with some drop ships, it would be a possibility, but yeah, like I told you, most Terrans really like to go into tanks, into vultures and even Goliaths in case the Protoss goes for some carriers or even some arbiters and so on. We also see the gateway here for STORK, and we also see the first scouting SCV and the scouting probes moving out on the map. So really early scout, usually the 2-minute mark is the timer when both players are scouting, and the walling has already been successful here, so STORK is not able to walk here through. Let's have a look at the SCV here. Is going to see the pylon, the gateway, so he sees that nothing really out of the ordinary. Gas is also being finished here by STORK, so it looks like really soon he's going to be going for some dragoons, as this should be his cybernetics core. So yeah, the pretty standard stuff. Gas is being mined really soon. The first dragoons will pop out. No zealot is being produced, so yeah, the Protoss go straight into dragoon production. And yeah, some marines will be finished here, I guess, just to hold this ledge in case there are some zealots coming. But yeah, in the end the Terran should very likely transition now into some factories. And yeah, let's have also a look at the timer from the fast expansion, when exactly both players will decide to go for a fast expansion. There's now pretty standard stuff, no early aggression, no bunker rush. It could have been a possibility for the Terran to go for a bunker rush, pull some SCVs, produce many marines, like we've seen on previous replays from Elki for example. It could be a possibility, it could be a very strong push early on, as the dragoon range would have not been finished. So yeah, but yeah, it looks like both players are going to be playing it really standard, as the SCV is still here around gathering information. Same can be set here for the probe left here, just to see when the Terran is going to be expanding. But of course a Terran could place his command center into this location and just uplift it. So yeah, STORK still roaming around here with his probe, and we also have a marine here into this part. So yeah, now also checking the proximity, checking the expansion zones, as the first dragoon I believe is out here for STORK. So yeah, the SCV has slowly but steadily he needs to retreat slowly but steadily. This could be a robotics facility bay. Yes, indeed, a robotics facility bay. As STORK knows that the door is shut, he is going to transition perhaps into some shuttles, into some reavers. It could be a possibility, just to harass the Terran as much as possible. And even this one probe dealing quite some damage into this supply depot. But yeah, the SCV is ready to repair it. Now the first dragoons are out. You can see the production tab in the upper left part. So yeah, let's have a look when these dragoons will likely decide to come into this location to harass. The first siege tank ability is being produced. Siege tank is also up really soon, so the dragoons are kind of late here for STORK, but I think this is part of his plan. And we have a command center, so this is the expansion from Nada. STORK not deciding yet to expand. We're closing at the 5-minute mark, just placing some pylons around. He might hide some buildings into this location, and yeah, his dragoons are just patrolling the map just to check if there's any hidden bases here for Nada, and perhaps if there's any hidden structures, perhaps some starport or other factories, but yeah, no such thing, just 2 tanks here for Nada's siege ability is going to be ready soon, so those two dragoons will be of course not having that much chances here against those siege tanks. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, Stork pretty much knows has to retreat. He's on standby here. He's going to harass perhaps the first expansion point from Nada really soon, but yeah, Nada can of course slowly but steadily move his siege tanks and expand. So yeah, no expansion yet here for Stork. He's actually gathering now some minerals, so the 6-minute mark is going to be here when his expansion is going to start producing. Nada a little bit faster here. His expansion is already done. He's moving out with his siege tanks, and there's just 2 dragoons here for Stork. So yeah, worker wise both pretty much at the same work account. However, yeah, like I told you, Nada with a faster expansion being completed here, and even sniping here those 2 dragoons. Really great pickup here by Nada. Stork not paying attention, sadly for him, losing early on 2 dragoons. Perhaps he was busy microing this shuttle. Indeed it was a shuttle with a river. Let's have a look. Is he producing something else? Perhaps really soon some observers will be needed against those vulture mine, in case there will be some vultures mined here. Let's have a look. Now in comes Stork with his river, with his 1 zealot. And just in case you are wondering, the first zealot will be dropped just to soak up the first shots out of those siege tanks. But it's really many siege tanks. However, this position is not really being gathered here by Nada, but as I said, this is finishing actually his third. Now Stork is of course trying to attack this position. It would be a nice change of tactics here. Let's have a look if he's going to commit. Those siege tanks will be really late. So in comes the first shuttle with that zealot, with that weaver. How many workers is he going to be able to kill? Let's have a look. Nada at 34 workers. First 2 fall, even 1 more. A lot of mining time is being cancelled, and finally in come those tanks, but they're also taking some damage. So 1 tank even might get sniped from those SCVs. So yeah, 3 SCVs have been killed. Pretty good job here by Stork. And yeah, that mining time is also being cancelled, but now sadly for him he's losing the river. So kind of a fair trade for Nada and Stork, losing a river and a zealot for those SCVs. 1 siege tank has also been snapped, but at this time, look at that, the Protoss once again is going to be expanding. So this is what many Protosses do. They like to harass their opponents either with dragoons or with these shuttle drops, but at this time they just like to expand, as the worker count now from Stork is going even higher and higher. So yeah, we're closing at the 10-minute mark, and Stork almost here ready with his second expansion. There is no second expansion for Nada, just having here a scouting barracks, and we have a nice hidden observer here giving vision towards Stork just in case Nada decides to move out. So yes, let's have a look at the next steps. The in comes the SCV. He's going to see now this expansion attempt by Stork, but it's getting immediately sniped here by those dragoons. Let's have a look at the main here from Stork. Is on gateways. There's an observatory, so it looks like mass gateway units here for Stork. More and more observers. The shuttle should be still around here. Actually, there it is once again with a river and 2 zealots. Now let's have a look if he's going to be successful. Not actually moving out here on the map, but just to secure his expansion point. In comes the shuttle with those units. Let's have a look. Not that many defenses now here, luckily here for Stork, as he's going to be dealing so much splash damage. Even the zealots are attacking, and some SCVs will fall. Once again, mining time is being delayed. This comsat could be attacked as well. So nice move out. Unlucky move out by Nada, as he's now losing so much mining time, and at the same time also losing some SCVs. Yeah, this observer is really important for Stork. Gives him lots and lots of information. So yeah, great stuff here by him. Sadly for Nada, he's at only 33 workers versus the already 55 by Stork. Yeah, let's have a look. Those observer once again nicely being positioned. This shuttle once again could try to attack this location. There's not that many defenses here for Nada, so Nada doing a really not that of a good job with his defenses. And yeah, this base also pretty much soon ready to mine. And yeah, let's have a look now. Nada just saving some minerals for that command center, has to wait with his SCV count. Really hard game here for him, just pretty much on the defense early on, and Stork might even take here this 12 o'clock position, so it could be a possibility. Stork just massively expanding all over the map, massively harassing his opponent. Shuttle already taking quite some damage, so Stork needs to be careful. There are, however, no Goliaths, just vultures and tanks, so the harassment could continue here. And let's have a look. Like I told you, this position would have been really great for him to attack. He might try this out, but at the same time, Nada now finally pushing out with some vultures, not taking his tanks with him, just those vultures. But this gap is nicely being guarded here by Stork. The same can be said here. So Stork noticed that he leaves some dragoons behind at his expansion points just to guard them, around 6 to 4, even 5 dragoons, all being spreaded here, all playing nicely defensive. But hold on, we actually see this move out by Nada with his Weaver, with his Zealots. Nada taking quite some damage, but that Weaver once again is getting sniped. So this time Nada doing quite a good job defending here, sniping this one Weaver. But this is just Stork buying time, of course, for his expansions, just to produce more and more. And by the looks of it, he's also scouting this location. She might even go there, but yeah, look at that. His observers are so nicely being positioned here. They just give so much information here for Stork where exactly the main army from Nada is located. So yeah, really nice job. As the shuttle now returns home, is he going to pick up some dragoons, keep on harassing? No, he's just preparing some defenses, some cannons. So a very safe game here for Stork. It just keeps the Terran at bay, just keeps the Terran at home, just to wander around with his siege tanks, with his vultures. No Goliaths for Nada. As now Nada might move out with so many tanks, with so many vultures. Of course, tanks, nice counter against those dragoons. And let's have a look if he's going to be successful. Those vultures need, of course, to guard those tanks, but yeah, Nada knows he has to move out. I'm pretty sure that he scanned this location. He might have scanned here as well. As if this game continues like this, Stork will of course have the upper economic game part. So yeah, he really has to make something happen. He's now spreading his tanks in the middle of the map, just securing the flow of the army, even adding a turret in case there is a Dark Templar or two. So yeah, Nada slowly but steadily moving out. Good scan here by him, sees those zealots with speed. Let's have a look at, no, not now, but there is a fight. There will be some upgrades. In comes the shuttle. He's going to drop some zealots here. Zealots once again in the front. Siege tanks have been sieged up. The dragoons are in the back, so the zealots will fall. But at the same time, so many siege tanks have fallen. But hold on, siege tanks are still pretty much alive in the back. So the dragoons need to move now forward, need to spread. So nice job here by Stork, but still he's taking so much damage. So both players are trading blows really nicely. A nice balanced encounter in the end. Nada killing so much here from Stork, as yes, Stork pretty much has moved here into a trap, but at the same time he was able to, luckily for him, to kill so many units. 0-0 upgrades for those tanks. Let's have a look at Stork, also 0-0. So yeah, pretty fair trade in the end. Perhaps a little bit of an advantage for Stork, as he is of course able, economically wise, to recover really fast from this. He's at 66 workers versus the 51 from Nada. Nada is once again regrouping. He might have to launch an attack really soon. Either this location, this could also be a nice location to attack. And yeah, let's have a look. He needs of course more vultures, more mines against those zealots, but we've seen Stork moving out with his shuttle, dropping those zealots straight into those mines, and the splash damage really huge against the Terran. Finally Nada decides to move out. This expansion is pretty much exposed. Don't really understand why Stork has went for some cannons in, because the Terran has of course siege tanks, and yeah, those cannons won't be able to shoot. Now yeah, finally Stork is going to lose some workers, so pretty good job here by Nada. In comes a quite small army move out by Stork. He has to first kill those mines and then just move forward here, so taking quite some damage, killing some vultures, killing some mines. But yeah, this will take of course quite some time, as Nada is pretty much now relocating here his tanks. So nice move out. His reinforcements are also nicely moving here forward, as the middle map is going to be the battlefield. But yeah, Nada looking like with a much stronger force here against Stork. This expansion is still pumping, so Nada didn't leave, interesting enough, at least 2 tanks here to take it out. I guess it's just waiting for those reinforcements. He's just waiting for Stork perhaps with a main attack, but we do have now a Arbiter. We do now have High Templars, and yeah, High Templars very much effective if they're ready, if they can cast that High Templar Storm against those tanks. So yeah, Nada really needs to make something happen. Finally 2 tanks have been left here, so the expansion is going to finally be taken out, but Stork already at 73 workers. He's even taking here the 6 o'clock position, so yeah, let's have a look once again. We might see another engagement in the middle of the map, but there is now an Arbiter for Stork, and yeah, let's have a look. This is the only detection currently for the Terran. He has of course scan, there's that first scan, and he has so many zealots here for Stork moving out with dragoons, and yeah, nice storms are being casted as well. Such a great stuff here by Stork. Really hard for Nada to detect those High Templars, as he's even moving forward to take out those last remaining tanks. The expansion has been snapped, but yes, Stork pushing out here really strong, and also buying time for his expansion. At the same time, this expansion has been taken by Nada, so nice job here by him. The mines are all over the place in the middle of the map. And yeah, let's have a look. In comes Stork. He's actually going to commit here. Yes, his observer has given him nice information. And sadly for Nada, there are no defenses for him. He did lose the middle of the map. So yeah, this mining station here is pretty much exposed. Let's have a look. Can those SCVs somehow retreat? Indeed they can, but the command center is pretty much going to fall here. So nice job by Stork taking out the expansion here as well. As those SCV has to gather a new base, and yeah, look at that mass cannons here just in case some SCVs are moving forward. They will of course be sniped as fast as possible, so really hard for Nada to come back. He's currently down at 80 supply. Let's have a look. If he however has the high ground, if he however has those siege tanks sieged up, and those mines will connect somehow really nicely, he could of course take the game, but right now he's just moving forward with siege tanks. They are not sieged up. Some siege tanks even taking the stasis trap, and look at that, a great High Templar Stork from the upper part. Stork seems to be all over the place. This High Templar still not being taken out, so yeah, those siege tanks really pretty much hurt. And there's so much damage now being taken by Nada. He's dropping below 100 supply, and remember, Stork with his economy and of course pump as much more units here towards his enemy. So yeah, nice stuff here by him. 2 arbiters have now joined the army. No recalls yet for Stork. I guess he just doesn't need it anymore. 1 arbiter finally has been snapped, but Stork has the high ground. I guess he's just waiting for some reinforcements. Yeah, it's just going to be keep on pushing, and yeah, another really hard game here for him, as Stork now has the massive economic advantage. His bases are all over the map. The right part of the map is pretty much in control from Stork. Worker wise, he's 20 more workers up, and yeah, this looks like Stork is preparing a finishing blow for his opponent. His main force is here. He might try a recall. Let's have a look at what his plans are. He has of course much more supply, the double amount of supply against his opponent. And yeah, this small group is going to be pushed back, but like I told you, this is of course the main force. These are the reinforcements. If now Stork decides to push out, maybe he will try a recall. Let's have a look what his plans are. As yeah, another really hard game for him. Observers also do very much important for the Protoss. And yeah, let's have a look. In comes Stork now with his main force, even having some Archons now. Let's check those upgrades. 2 weapons upgrades. And yeah, in comes the Arbiter. 1 Zealot in the front, of course, just to soak up the mine damage. So yeah, Stork preparing the final blow here against Nada. Nada somehow, if he can siege up in a nice position, if he can spread those siege tanks, somehow he could hold and just perhaps buy some more time. Yeah, let's have a look how things will unfold. Arbiter could also use stasis trap against those tanks, and yes, indeed, a nice stasis trap, having here 1 tank being stasis up. And let's have a look. Stork is now moving forward. SCVs have to be sadly pulled by Nada, so really hard game, like I told you, for him. There's so much supply here for Stork, and that has to be of course the GG here from Nada. A nice execution by Stork. Of course, he abused that shuttle gameplay here, just buying himself time for his expansion. And yeah, a nice lesson if you're a Protoss. They just keep attacking your opponent, just keep abusing him, and just keep expanding. At the same time, we see Stork now winning, of course, this game thanks to it.